Young and the Restless spoilers. The sudden disappearance of Alan cast a dark shadow over the lives of those who knew him. No one could reach him, not even Tracy, who had always been close to him. Her anxiety grew with each passing hour, as she wondered what might have happened to him. Alan was not the type to vanish without a word. His sudden absence felt ominous, and the uncertainty gnawed at her. But the situation took an even more terrifying turn when Devon broke the news that Abby and her young son, Dominic, had been kidnapped. They were no longer at home, and the house had been left in shambles, suggesting a violent struggle had taken place. Jack and Diane, who had been close to Alan, felt a deep, unsettling dread wash over them. Alan's disappearance, coinciding with the abduction of Abby, was too much of a coincidence. Something was terribly wrong. But it wasn't until Tracy received a message from Alan's phone that the full horror of the situation became clear. The message was brief, chilling in its simplicity. The person texting her wasn't Alan at all. It was Martin, who revealed that Alan was dead. Martin had been impersonating him, fooling everyone around them. The revelation sent shockwaves through the group. Martin, a man they had all thought they knew, was a madman. He had killed his own brother and had been living as Alan, deceiving everyone. But his madness didn't stop there. Martin had another twisted plan. He wanted Ashley back in Genoa City, and he was willing to exchange Abby for her. It wasn't just about control. Martin had developed a sick obsession with Ashley. He believed he loved her, and in his deranged mind, he thought that by holding Abby and Dominic hostage, he could force Ashley to come back to him. Martin's demand was clear. He wanted Ashley, and he was willing to do anything to get her. The group was left reeling, trying to make sense of the situation. How could they have been so blind? How could they have missed the signs that Alan was not who he claimed to be? The truth was too much to bear. They were dealing with a dangerous man, a man who had already shown he was capable of murder. And now, he was playing a deadly game, using Abby and Dominic as pawns. The revelation that Martin was behind the kidnapping only added to the horror of the situation. He was a man driven by jealousy, by a deep-seated resentment of his brother. Martin had always envied Alan's life, his success, his relationships. But his envy had turned into something darker, something more sinister. Martin had decided that if he couldn't have what Alan had, then he would take it by force. He had killed his own brother, taken over his life, and now he was trying to take Ashley as well. Tracy, Jack, Diane, and the others were left with an impossible choice. They knew they had to get Abby and Dominic back, but they also knew that giving in to Martin's demands would only put Ashley in danger. Martin was not someone they could trust. He was a maniac, a killer. But they were running out of time. Abby and Dominic's lives were on the line, and they had to act fast. The group quickly devised a plan to rescue Abby and Dominic, but they knew it wouldn't be easy. Martin was unpredictable, dangerous, and he had the advantage. They couldn't afford to make any mistakes. They had to outsmart him, to anticipate his next move. But even as they planned, the fear gnawed at them. What if they were too late? What if Martin decided to take matters into his own hands and harm Abby and Dominic before they could reach them? As they worked to piece together the clues, it became clear that Martin's obsession with Ashley was the key to understanding his actions. He had always been envious of Alan, but his feelings for Ashley had turned that envy into something much darker. Martin didn't just want what Alan had, he wanted to become Alan, to take over his life completely. And in his twisted mind, he believed that by controlling Ashley, he could finally achieve that. The more they uncovered about Martin's past, the more horrifying the picture became. He had always been jealous of Alan, but no one had realized just how deep that jealousy ran. Martin had lived in his brother's shadow for years, resenting every success, every relationship that Alan had. But instead of finding his own path, Martin had chosen to destroy his brother's life and take it for himself. And now, he was trying to force Ashley into a relationship with him, using Abby and Dominic as leverage. As they raced against time to save Abby and Dominic, the group knew they had to be careful. Martin was not someone who could be reasoned with. He was a man who had already shown he was capable of killing, and there was no telling what he might do if he felt cornered. They had to tread carefully, to think several steps ahead, if they wanted to bring Abby and Dominic back safely. The tension mounted as they got closer to confronting Martin.